Hey, good evening, and thanks for joining us during this Giving Tuesday. Levitt Pavilion has got it going on. I mean, I hope you guys have been watching this all day today. It is their Giving Tuesday virtual music marathon, and man, it's been fantastic. There's been every genre of music you can imagine, so I hope you've been enjoying it, and I hope you've been donating. What's really cool is that the Levitt Pavilion is all about building community, and they build that community through, free concerts. Free concerts one at a time. Build that community together and do it with free music. And live music is really, taking it in the chin in 2020, in the temple and in the gut, all that matters. So if you can, we want to keep that going. We want to provide all of that live entertainment, that community building for you. And they do a lot of it through, individual donations. So if you can donate, that would be awesome. Check it out. There it is right there. levittdayton.org/donate. I was there just a little bit ago, and there's a big old red or orange donate button. You can't miss it. Click on that, and hopefully, you can help us out, and we'll get ready for, fingers crossed, 2021. I'm Dave Alexander. I'm from the Mix Morning Show with Jeff, Christie, and Dave on Mix 1077. Once again, thanks so much for hanging out. And joining me right now, we are lucky. For the next hour, we are joined by none other than Tom Higgenson of the Plain White T's. Tom, what's happening?
What's up, Dave? How are you?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us for this hour.
Absolutely. I'm excited. What you just said, we're hoping 2021. I mean, what do you think, man? Is it going to be weird? Is there going to be concerts? Is it going to kind of feel normal? I don't know.
Right. The last live show I saw was just before Christmas last year, and I am just itching for some live music. And live music is such a positive thing, as the Levitt Pavilion has been saying. It brings the community together. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It just brings it all, every genre of music, and Levitt Pavilion has done it. And we hope to do some great things. So let's, speaking of what have you been doing in quarantine pandemic age?
Yeah. So obviously it's I feel like this is a great time for artists because, a lot of times in that isolation, that's kind of when you can kind of have your own space and create some of your best work, right?
Yeah.
I've been writing a lot of songs, of course.
Good.
Got some new Plain White T's demos, so we'll have some new music coming in 2021 for sure.
Awesome.
Which is good. I started a record label last year. So it's been kind of nice for that, just kind of sitting around and producing and writing a bunch of stuff for that with my artists. So, so that's been cool. It's called Humans Were Here. If anybody wants to check it out, HumansWereHere.com. I've been, I don't want to say I've been enjoying it because that sounds like, I don't know, like insensitive, has, but I've been trying to find the silver lining. And I think, like I said, being more of a creative type, I've been able to do a lot of that stuff, kind of tap into the creative side, which is, I think, I feel very lucky that I've been able to find those positive things,
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, what kind of music did you listen to when you were a kid? I mean, did your parents have any big influence on you at all?
That's a great question. My as far back as I can remember, I grew up in the 80s, so my mom was always playing Michael Jackson and Pat Benatar, right? the 80s stuff.
Sure.
But my dad was into kind of more almost heavy metal, but pop metal, bands like Halloween and Manowar, Scorpions, that kind of thing.
Yes. You don't often hear Halloween and Manowar a lot there, Tom. Those two bands aren't often mentioned.
Yeah, well, they go right hand in hand with Plain White T's and Halloween. It's
That's right.
The same thing. But I do think that some of my pop sensibility comes from some of that weird, obscure, pop metal stuff. I still will listen to Halloween. I swear, I just put Halloween on a few weeks ago, probably because it was Halloween.
Right.
Around that time, for some reason, my brain goes there, but. I mean, some of that 80s metal stuff is genius. So I don't know.
Is that what you were listening to while you were in high school? Just curious. I mean, or did it flip all the way around and you used to?
Okay, so if you want the full musical background,
the class,
that's how.
Bring it on. Yeah, bring it on.
So that's, when I didn't have a choice, when I was a little kid, that's what I was exposed to, right? And then when I was probably like, I don't know, 9 or 10, the Monkees were all over, like, I don't know if it was Nickelodeon or whoever licensed the show at that point, but so I was a huge fan of the Monkees because I watched them on TV. So then I like would ask my mom to buy me like the little Monkees cassette tapes and stuff.
Okay.
And so from there, I really loved like the Beach Boys, and then that kind of merged into like Boys to Men, who were kind of doing that old school throwbacky thing.
Little soul for you, sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I was loving that stuff, and then as soon as I hit high school, it was like right when like alternative music started. So then high school kind of flipped a switch for me, and it was like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Weezer, Green Day, all that stuff. And then my freshman year of high school, I got a drum set for Christmas, so I started playing drums. And then I got a guitar the next year and started playing guitar, so so that was like the moment where, and then I think by like my junior year, I was like, actually the Alanis Morissette album, Jagged Little Pill, is the reason why I wanted to be a songwriter. I was like, okay, that's it. Like the album just hit me so hard, like at that moment. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. I just want to write songs and like try to connect with people like this album.
Very cool. All right. So if you wouldn't mind, take a little bit of that Michael Jackson, Pat Benatar, Halloween, Man of War, Alanis Morissette, and play us a little tune if you would.
Oh, you want me to play music too? All right. I thought we were just going to talk about music for an hour. All right, let's do it. All right. So this is actually, a lot of people don't know this. This is a Halloween B-side off of their Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2 album. And yeah, it's actually just a cover song by Plain White T's. Totally lying, but anyway. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Loving than I've ever had. Make it all better when I'm feeling sad. Tell me that I'm special even when I know I'm not. Make me feel good when it hurts so bad. Barely get mad. I'm so glad I found you. I love being around you. You make it easy. It's easy as 1, 2. There's only one thing to do. Words for you. I love you. There's only one way to say those 3 words. That's what I'll do. I love you. Give me more loving from the very start. Piece me back together when I fall apart. Tell me things you never even tell your closest friends. Make me feel good when it hurts so bad. Best that I've had. I'm so glad I found you. I love being around you. You make it easy. It's easy as 1, 2, 1. There's only one thing to do. 3 words for you. I love you. There's only one way to say those 3 words. That's what I'll do. I love you. I love you. You make it easy. It's easy as 1, 2. There's only one thing to do. 3 words for you. I love you. There's only one way to say those 3 words. That's what I'll do. I love you. I love you. 1, Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice job, dude. Nice job. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, we're here for Giving Tuesday for the Levitt Pavilion during their virtual music marathon. It's been a great afternoon. I hope everybody's been enjoying it. If you can, like you said, live music has taken a big hit, as well as has these venues, and these venues really depend on your donations, because Levitt Pavilion puts on 50 free concerts a year. Hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed, they'll get started back up again in June of 2021, and we'll have, free live music free as well. But it all takes some help from some local sponsors and individual donations. So if you can donate, please check it out. LevittDayton.org/donate, big old red, orangish kind of donate button. And I click that, and whatever you can do would be very, very helpful. All right, Tom, thanks again for hanging out with us today. I do appreciate it. All right, so when you were in high school, you lived just outside of Chicago, right?
I do.
You grew up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you go to a lot of shows when you were
oh my
in high
God.
school? And,
so literally high school was like all shows, basically. Like every 3 days, pretty much, I was like in the city. Luckily Chicago is a great city for live music. So yeah, every band, like at that point, like I said, when I hit high school, it was like that alternative scene kind of happening with music.
Right.
So I saw, I know you're probably not familiar, but there's this venue in Chicago called the Metro, which is literally like, 1,000 people. It's a small club, just a beautiful venue. But it's really small. Like you're right, face to face with the stage, basically. And so in the 90s, I saw Weezer play on the Blue album, their first album. I saw No Doubt play there on Tragic Kingdom. Everclear, Smashing Pumpkins on Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I was like 10 feet away from these people in this small club, like as they were ascending into, mega stardom. It was like I got to see all these artists like at that level. It was so cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of the importance of those smaller clubs, like venues, like you said, the Metro, and of course the Levitt Pavilion, which we're kind of raise some money here on Giving Tuesday, is that up and coming bands, new bands, they see the light of day on those stages, and that's how these communities see them.
Absolutely. All right. Every time I would go to the Metro, I would because literally you could reach out and touch the stage. So like at the end of every show I would go to, I would reach out and touch the stage to like soak up like the vibe of like the artists and stuff. And it was kind of my goal to like, okay, someday I'm going to play on that stage. Yeah, that's cool. When Plain White T's started, we actually started in 1997. But that was like one of our first goals that we ever had was like, okay, how do we play the Metro? Like that was our, biggest accomplishment. And within a year of being a band, we played the Metro. We kept sending in our demo tapes and bugging the promoter there, like, please, and got us on a show, and we drew some kids. So then he got us on, got us to another show, and it's like, you just build it up. So yeah, I agree that it's all about those venues helping out bands, especially like you said, kind of smaller bands or younger bands, because it's like, those are going to be the next huge bands. They just haven't, they need those steps along the way.
Right. So was the Plain White T's your first band?
No, Harvey's Daughter was my first band. I was actually, I played Harvey's Daughter. Yeah. I played drums first. That was my first instrument. So, I was actually the drummer of a band called Harvey's Daughter, which was like, it was me and a couple buddies, obviously in high school. But it was fun. We actually played a show at a venue in Chicago, another cool small venue called the Riviera. And it was one of those shows where you had to like pay to play. It was like, cool, you can play here, but you've got to sell 50 tickets or something like that. Yeah. So we were like, yeah, awesome. So we're just kind of begging our friends to,
please show up,
come see us. But yeah, that's what you got to do at that level. But but yeah, I started out as a drummer, and
so who was Harvey?
You know what? That's an incredible question. And if it was 1996, I probably would have been able to answer that. But I don't even remember. I think it might have been like our bass player's neighbor
Okay.
or something. I don't
Of
know.
course, some
But he must
obscure.
have had
Yeah.
like a hot daughter or something, because we
Right.
were like, oh, Harvey's daughter.
So what were you playing back then? What were you just doing, covers, I'm assuming?
Actually, no, we had original
No,
songs. It was like
really?
a little bit darker. It was that band was a little bit more like almost like Marilyn Manson meets with a little bit of like punk rock, like the Ramones meets Marilyn Manson. Yeah.
See, and you can only find those kind of things at these little venues. Because I mean, I've seen so many small. Like I live just outside of Cincinnati, and I've been to Top Cats and Sudsy Malone's. All these. I mean, Sudsy Malone's was a laundromat, for crying out loud.
Oh wow,
That
yeah.
showed that they had live music. I remember seeing White Zombie there before they were anybody at a laundromat.
Cool.
So it's very, very cool, and and it's really neat to hear that you as well. You're you had to go up the ranks. You had to go do those shows. You had to do the work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And can you remember some of the crowds at those early Plain White Tee shows or whatever?
What crowds? Yeah, I mean, seriously, there was like the first tour that we ever did.
Yeah.
We like booked it ourselves, and with like a buddy who came along and like, was our tour manager and like sold our merch at the shows and everything.
Sure.
But there was literally like at least one of the shows on our first tour, I swear to God, there was not a single person watching us. Like there may have been one bartender.
Yeah.
But like even the opening band or the other bands that were on the bill were like outside, like smoking or something. Like we played to an fully empty room with one bartender behind the bar. But you know what? We played, and it was
that's cool.
what it was. Of course, it sucked, but it was like, well, we're here.
Yeah,
we might as well play a show to nobody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like every band probably has, that's a similar story like that. But that's just all part of it. And it's funny too, is I look back at those times as like the good old days. It was like
absolutely
all of those little steps that it took to get to where we got. Like, you can't really hate on any of it. It was all important and all had its place.
Yeah, I've actually been to a couple of those shows like that. Like I saw Sugar Ray. You remember Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath? Yeah. Before they were a pop band, they were kind of this alt metal kind of thing.
Sure.
And I saw them at Caddy's Garage in Cincinnati, and there were 5 people there, and that was it. But they were awesome. It was so much fun, and I'm so glad that they played a full show. They could have looked out like I got a sore throat or some nonsense.
Oh, totally. It's very easy in that situation to be like, screw it. Like I'm not. But
I'm not playing it. Not these people. Just give them a free drink and move on. All right. Well, so let's from those early days. So this is kind of, I know you're playing because there's nobody there, I'm assuming, unless you got your cat or something hanging around you. Kind of relive those moments back then of those early Plain White Tees days and play us another song if you could.
Yeah, what's funny is I've been doing a lot of shows. I've made this thing called the Wednesday Club. Which I do on Plain White Tees Facebook page every Wednesday. I do like a free show where the fans actually vote for the songs and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, it's been really weird adjusting. Like you said, it's like cool. And at least now I get to talk to you in between the songs. On those things, it's nothing, you know? And like the phone is like a little too far away to like read the comments, So I just basically have to like just talk and play like to nobody for 45 minutes. It's a little bit weird, but I'm kind of gotten used to it. I think it'll be weird now to like actually play in front of a real crowd. Will be like, whoa, like I don't know, that'll feel.
I bet, man.
Kind of weird.
That vibe's got to be, you're waiting for that energy to come back to you again once we can see live music again.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I can't wait. Wait. But yeah, okay. I was gonna play this next song, because hang on, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Yeah, this next song, it is Giving Tuesday, and we're trying to raise money for Levitt. I thought that maybe I would have to do this song because it's called The Giving Tree. And actually, when we released this song, we did a thing called the 12 Days of Giving leading up to Christmas, because we actually released this song in December of, what was it, 2012 maybe? I don't remember when Giving Tree was released, 2013 maybe. But yeah, so this song has always kind of had that Christmassy, vibe to it. And of course, with the title, The Giving Tree, and you guys, I'm sure, know the book and everything, it's perfect for a situation like this. So, like I said, had to do this one. So here we go. Giving Tree. All the leaves on the giving tree have fallen, no shade to crawl in underneath. I've got scars from a pocket knife where you carved your heart into me. If all you wanted was love, why would you use me up? Cut me down, build a boat and sail away, when all I wanted to be was your giving tree. Settle down, build a home and make you happy. I lie in the dead of night and I wonder whose covers you're between. And it's sad laying in this bed, you feel hollow, so you crawl home back to me. If all you wanted was love, why would you use me up? Cut me down, build a boat and sail away, when all I wanted to be was your giving tree. Settle down, build a home and make you happy. Well, I see a trail that starts a line of broken hearts behind you that lead you back to me. The one sad and lonely fool with nothing left but roots to show. Oh, if all you wanted was love, why would you use me up? Cut me down, build a boat and sail away, and all I wanted to be was your giving tree. Settle down, build a home and make you happy. Settle down, build a home and make you happy. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Got a Facebook comment on love that song from Lisa as we were
nice.
as we were going there. It's pretty cool. So thank you so much. Once again, Tom, I'm Dave Alexander. I'm from the Mix Morning Show. Jeff, Christy, and Dave on Mix 107.7. And joining me, Tom Higgenson of the Plain White Tees. Tom, thanks again. All right, so today's Giving Tuesday. We're a part of that virtual music marathon for the Levitt Pavilion. A lot of great music we've had all day for you, and I hope you've been enjoying it. And Levitt Pavilion is really, it was a struggle last year for sure, for venues, for musicians like yourself, Tom, and for fans. We haven't had any live music in a very long time, and I appreciate the fact that some people like yourself are doing the Facebook, doing some online, but it's not the same. I think we're all itching for some live entertainment, live music. I miss music festivals a lot. But so we're trying to help out the Levitt Pavilion today, and because they're doing a lot of great things. I mean, think of, they do free shows, 50 free shows. Over 58,000 people attended in 2019. 58,000. Wow. I mean, that's a lot of people that are coming together, building that community around the Levitt Pavilion, and we want to help, and we want if you can, your help. So if you can, make a donation. It's levittdayton.org/donate. Big old donate button right there on the website. And anything you can do would be awesome. We appreciate it. All right, Tom. We've been talking about some of the fun stuff as we're getting started, with your bands and whatnot. What can you recall the moment that you were like, hey, I think I want to do this for real. I want to be a musician. I want to make some money. I want to make it a career.
Yeah, it's funny. all my band always like kind of jokes with me because like through all of our ups and downs, and of course there was a ton of downs, along with the ups. But I am this just like always just a very optimistic person, right? Yeah. So like through everything, like I said, that one show where we played to 0 people, like I'm sure a lot of bands would have been like, oh my God, this sucks. We suck. Nobody likes us, whatever. But I was like, oh, well, that was cool. That was weird. Like just roll with the punches and just keep going, So yeah, like in those early days, never never really let anything get to me or anything bother me, Right. And I really do feel like every time, like every year as a band, like, things would just get slowly like better and better, Right. Like I was saying, that venue, the Metro in Chicago, it was our goal to play the Metro. And they got us a show. We brought some friends, and it was awesome. We got another show, and we brought a few more people, And then, of course, there was that like moment where it stopped being like your friends and your family in the crowd, and there was actually like people coming to see you that you didn't know, and that was a really cool experience. Like, whoa, like, what are you doing? Who are you? We don't know you. Like, how do you know our band, or how do you like us? And then from there, it's like, you start touring and you start getting on, opening slots for other bands. Like that was a huge thing for us, getting to open. I bet. I remember we got to open for the band Simple Plan. And that was like absolutely the biggest thing for us at that time. And that was a huge tour. Like that got us a lot of even our core fans that we still have to this day, saw us on tours like that way back in the day. At one point we drove, we got our manager was friends with that band Jimmy Eat World. And we had a show. I don't know why we took this or what we were thinking, but obviously we're a Chicago band. We got offered a show, and Jimmy Eat World, by the way, was like our favorite band at the time. And we got offered a show with opening up for Jimmy Eat World in LA, one show at this place called the El Rey, which is a really nice, but also kind of a smaller venue. Yeah. And we said, heck yeah, we jumped in our van, drove across the country. That's awesome. For one show with Jimmy Eat World. And it was like the highlight of our lives at that moment, Right. So totally worth it. Yeah. But yeah, so there was a lot of those little moments along the way that were like, okay, like, of course there's like the bad times, but like all of the good times kind of were like outweighed the bad. So it was like, okay, we're seeing some progress. We're seeing this thing going somewhere. And like I was saying, my band always makes fun of me, but like I was always like, guys, we're doing it. This rules. We're going to be huge, Right. Yeah.
That's awesome about the van. I mean, you hear that story from every band about the van, whether or not you get enough gas money to get to the next gig or whatever the case may be. It's awesome. All right. So it's time for another song. We do have a question from Madeline. She wants to know about the songwriting process. So whatever song you're about to play next, which I'm not aware of, but any idea, you can give us an idea of what the songwriting process is for that song?
Okay, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this next song because the songwriting process was, I mean, not that we can't talk about it, but not necessarily. I was going to do that song "Our Time Now" next, which is a very upbeat, kind of catchy poppy song, fun song.
Yeah. So you want to wait for "Hey There, Delilah"? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, let's talk about "Hey There, Delilah." No, I mean, I guess the songwriting process, to answer the question, is always different, and I guess this is a good moment to talk about it because so the song, "Our Time Now," I don't know if you guys know that one, but it was It's like one of our biggest songs. It was on. We performed it on the show iCarly, which was like a big deal. Like,
yeah.
To this day, we still get asked about like, what was it like being on iCarly? I don't know. That was just a weird cultural phenomenon in that moment.
Absolutely.
So writing this song, I actually wrote it with a friend of mine, this girl Mia Koo, who lived in New York, and I actually produced a record for her. She had a band with her sister called the Kung Fu Girls. Anybody out there wants to Google that? And I was producing a record for her. And this is when we were getting signed. We were going from an indie label to a major label. And I loved her songwriting. And so we kind of sat there and I said, we're doing a record on a major label. Let's try to write a song that's just like super just fun and catchy and just like over the top almost, with just hooks, and like just have super fun with it.
Heck yeah.
And it ended up being the first track on the major label debut. So and like I said, one of our top 5 songs to this day, Our Time Now. So that was the kind of the idea behind this song. But of course, a song like Hey There Delilah has a completely different story. That was like more of, I met this girl and joked around about writing her a song. And then she was, kind of bugging me like, yo, where's my song? When do I get to hear my song? And she was just this beautiful girl that I had a crush on. And so I'm like, okay, I've got to write this song now, since I said I would. And I've got to make it, I've like, now there's like something to live up to. Like, major label, who cares? Pretty girl? Okay, that's the real, the stakes are high now. So I tried to write a song that was like really beautiful, that would like impress a girl, you know? So yeah, but the process for that song, I actually had the guitar part for Hey There Delilah before I wrote the song. I think I was trying to play some Red Hot Chili Pepper song or something on guitar, and I went to a wrong chord, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. That's kind of cool. And then, that turned into the riff for Hey There Delilah.
Yeah.
But then it was, like I said, the actual girl that was like, inspired the song, where I'm like, okay, I guess maybe I can try it over that little riff I came up with the other day. And that's just how that song came about.
Right.
So yeah, there's no rules, there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of like whatever inspires you at that moment. And believe me, there's a ton of songs that really suck and never see the light of day, that are inspired by those exact same moments. It's like, you never know if it's like, oh, this is either like the coolest song I've ever written or absolute garbage. But you never know at the time. You just have to go with it and write it, and then the next day you kind of listen back and say, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's hear it.
So yeah, I'm gonna play Our Time Now right here. Okay, it helps if you hit the right chord. Okay. There will be no rules tonight. If there were, we'd break them. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Let's get down to it. Nervous hands and anxious smiles. I can feel you breathing. This is right where we belong. Turn up the music. Oh, 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 oh. This is a dance for all the lovers. Taking a chance for one another. Finally, it's our time now. These are the times that we'll remember. Breaking the city's heart together. Finally, it's our time now. It's our time now. This is more than just romance. It's an endless summer. I can feel the butterflies leading me through it. Take my heart, I'll take your hand as we're falling under. This is an addiction, girl. Let's get into it. Oh, 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 oh. This is a another. Finally, it's our time now. These are the times that we'll remember, breaking the city's heart together. Finally, it's our time now. It's our time now. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. This is a dance for all the lovers, taking a chance for one another. Finally, it's our time now. Woo! These are the times that we'll remember, we're breaking the city's heart together. Finally, it's our time now. It's our time now. It's our time now. Our time now. Our time. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Finally, it's our time now. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Nice. I can understand why it was the first track.
Yeah, definitely.
Started off with a bang.
Going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Once again, my name is Dave Alexander. I'm from the Mix Morning Show. Christy and Dave on Mix 107.7. And joining me tonight is Tom Higgenson, a part of Giving Tuesday for the Levitt Pavilion, part of their virtual music marathon. It's been a great afternoon. And the Levitt has been, as I said earlier, hit hard. It's been a tough year for the music industry as a whole, especially live music. The venues, the fans, the artists have all been hit very hard. And Levitt Pavilion is a great community builder. It's been done a lot of things for Dayton, especially downtown. Big old economic impact that Levitt has had on students as well, and the community, bringing us all together. So, and they do rely on a lot of individual donations. So if you do have, an opportunity to, please consider donating to the Levitt Pavilion. Just go to their website. There it is for you. levittdayton.org/donate, and just click that big old donate button, and whatever you can donate, all of it helps. So please, if you can, levittdayton.org/donate. All right, Tom, speaking of the Plain White Tees, now that you've, when did you guys form? Was it 97?
Yeah, 97. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, right. When did you start to realize that you guys were getting pretty popular?
Well, like I said, it was a very slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah.
It definitely, like Delilah was big on the radio in 2007, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like a 10-year, like they say, like a 10-year overnight success, right? Like we kind of blew up with Delilah, but it's like, yeah, it was a very slow process getting there. But yeah, I mean, there was moments along the way. Like I said, we had, those, like the goal of playing at the Metro in Chicago. And then, sure, like I said, that first big tour we got with the band Simple Plan, the one random show with Jimmy Eat World, like there were all these moments that were kind of made us feel like, okay, guys, this is working. We're doing it.
So what was it? What was the first record deal?
So we were on an indie label called Fearless.
Okay.
Which were actually, Fearless was like a small label, and they kind of grew with us. Oh. Like when we first put out Hey There Delilah, it was actually on Fearless Records. It was on an older record. And so we sold like 80,000 records for like when we were on Fearless. And I think when we put that record out, they were in the mindset of like, man, 10,000 would be like a home run. Yeah. And we sold 80,000, nice. So we really helped build them. Obviously they helped build us. So it was a great, like, kind of starting place for both of us. And then we went on to sign to Hollywood Records in 2006. And we put out our debut album on a major label, Every Second Counts, which is what Our Time Now was on. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they stripped Hey There Delilah onto that album. And, it went like number one. It was a big hit for us. That's another thing that's interesting. Like, we didn't re-record Hey There Delilah. Right. It was like the same version that sold 80,000, on an indie label, went on to sell 5 million or whatever on a major, with a little bit of that industry push behind it,
Sure.
like with radio and all that stuff. It's like, that stuff really did make a difference.
We still get, Hey There Delilah requests weekly on Mix 107.7, and we still play it. And it's because it's a great song. It's a great song. So thank you. All right. So what was the initial recording process like? I mean, was it just you walked into the studio and you were like, what are we doing?
Well, no, the initial recording process was us in our buddy's basement, just like, in some crappy little room, like figuring it out. I swear our first album that we made on that came out on Fearless Records, we actually made it ourselves. And then Fearless, they put it out, basically. We did a deal with them and they put that record out. It was recorded with our buddy who was 16 years old. He engineered it in his basement because I think it's like his older brothers maybe were into recording.
Right.
So like they had all the cool gear. And so, our 16-year-old buddy who was just kind of learning what he was doing, recorded our first album, which was called Stop. So that was the process, is literally like figuring it out. And it's funny because now with, this was before, I don't know if anybody watching knows, but like things like Pro Tools and Logic, like the systems that we use now to record, the technology, that this is kind of before any of that existed, or maybe at the time it was just coming out and it was probably like way too expensive for any of us to like have or anything. So we would do like me recording vocals for our first album was literally like I would sing like a line and then we would like rewind it, listen to it, and I'd either say like, okay, that sounds good, or like, oh, let me sing it again. And then I would like punch in, sing the line, go back and listen, like, okay, that's good, next line. Like that's how we did vocals. Like, and now we just sing the whole song or sing the whole verse, and then we can kind of comp it.
Go back in and
yeah. Back then it was like, well, does this sound good? Yeah, it's good enough. Okay.
That's a good verse. Next.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we got about 17 minutes left. So I know people want to hear you sing. So what do you say we hit another tune?
Cool. Well, I was going to do Inagata de Vida, but I think it might be too long. So maybe we'll just stick to Play My Tea.
That's probably for the best.
All right. Yeah. 17 minutes. I was going to do 2 more if that's cool. Maybe we'll We'll end with Delilah. We'll talk.
Sure.
And I was going to play Rhythm of Love, our second biggest hit right here. And this song actually is a fun one. I didn't write this one. Tim, our guitar player, wrote this song. And Tim, he's always he's actually growing into more and more of a really amazing songwriter. But a lot of his songs are kind of more sad. Like he kind of tends to turn to his guitar maybe when he's going through something, or more for like a therapy, like, oh man, this crappy thing just happened. I gotta, kind of get it out of my system by writing a song about it. But when he came to the band and he had the demo for Rhythm of Love, it was like such a breath of fresh air. Like not only for Tim, because like I said, he's normally the sad song guy, but it was just like, dude, this song is awesome. Like I love this song. Like you got to send me this song right now. I don't even care that you're like in my band and maybe this will be one of our songs. Like I just love it and I want to hear it. Like I was instantly a fan of this song from the first time hearing it. So I guess it's kind of no surprise that it became one of our big hits because it was just like that instantaneous for me. I heard it once and I wanted to hear it again right away. I had to have it. So I'll try to do it justice here. This is Rhythm of Love. My head stuck in the clouds. She begs me to come down, said boy, quit fooling around. I told her I love the view from up here. Warm sun and wind in my ear. We'll watch the world from above as it turns to the rhythm of love. We may only have tonight, till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low, sway to the rhythm of love. My heart beats like a drum, a guitar string to the strum, a beautiful song to be sung. And she's got blue eyes deep like the sea that roll back when she's laughing at me. She rises up like the tide the moment her lips meet mine. We may only have tonight, but till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low and sway to the rhythm of love. When the moon is low, we can dance in slow motion. All your tears will subside. All your tears will dry. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, da 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 da. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, da 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 da. And long after I've gone, you'll still be humming along, and I will keep you in my mind, the way you make love so fine. We may only have tonight, but till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low, sway to the rhythm of love. Oh, play the music low, sway to the rhythm of love. Yeah, sway to the rhythm of love. Thank you.
I love that song. Love that song.
You. Thank you.
Had a chance to meet you a couple of years ago. You and the Plain White Tees rolled by the Mix 1077 studios for a lounge performance. I think it was right, and the people in our lounge were just loved that song. So thanks for playing it. Do appreciate it. All right, Absolutely. I'm Dave Alexander from the Mix Morning Show with Jeff, Christie, and Dave from the Mix 1077. Tom Higgenson from the Plain White Tees is with us tonight, a part of Levitt Pavilion's Giving Tuesday events of the virtual music marathon. And we're hearing some great music right now. I'll tell you what, I do appreciate. And if you guys love it and you want to, come back, hopefully we're fingers crossed. We're saying some prayers that come June, we'll have live music again at the Levitt Pavilion. They're, COVID years, they're supposed to have 50 free concerts, and we want to see you there. We want to be there, and we could use all the help you could give. If you got the time, or if you've got, the ability, we'd love for you to donate. Check it out. Just go to their website, levittdayton.org/donate. Click that donate button, and anything you donate will be extremely helpful. So thanks. All right, Tom. So we're going to end with Hey There, Delilah here in a bit. So we got to ask about this song. I wanted to know what the band's initial thoughts were about that song. I mean, was it, all right, that's a nice little ballad, or were they like, oh man, that thing's going to skyrocket us to worldwide fame?
Okay, so I think none of us, including myself, knew that it would skyrocket us to, worldwide fame. I didn't think it would be like when I wrote the song, it was kind of like I knew it was really good and I was really proud of it, right? Like just the lyrics and everything about it, it just felt so good. But it was just small acoustic song. I didn't think it would be a hit or anything. I'm like, okay, cool. I feel like the fans would really love this song, but like radio smash, not a chance, you know?
Right.
But yeah, and the band, you know, everybody, Damar, our drummer, he didn't like it at first. Surprise, surprise. The drummer doesn't like the song with no drums, you know? And we're still able to give him crap for that, because it's like anytime I turn in a song and he doesn't like it, it's like, oh, well, you didn't like Hater Delilah either. So, you know,
good point.
He'll never live that one down for sure. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of the guys in the band, everybody pretty much liked it. You know, that was the thing with that song. Like pretty much, I mean, obviously there are people out there I know that like don't like that song or whatever. There are also people out there that don't like the Beatles. I call them liars.
I know, right.
I call them, you know, but but yeah, I feel like that was a song where, like, it's hard to explain. Like when you write a song, like we talked about earlier, like writing songs all the time and most of them suck, right?
Yeah.
But you really don't know if a song is good or not until you have to push play for someone else.
Right.
Like at that moment, it doesn't matter if it's my mom, a girlfriend, a random friend, a random fan, like you push play and you know instantly, like you're like, ooh, I could have sang that better. Ooh, that line's kind of, you know, whatever. And with Delilah, I remember having the feeling of like, okay, like this passes like flying colors, like the push play test. Like I feel like anyone in the world, I can push play on this song, and maybe it's not their thing, maybe it's not their vibe or their style, but like they will, like, there was just like a quality level to that song that I just felt. And like it obviously it was correct, you know, because the song became a hit, but yeah, that one was definitely definitely a little bit different. It just felt different. It felt like when people, you know, obviously I can write a song, right? So all my friends around me were like, you know, fans are like, oh yeah, Tom's great, he writes good songs. But when that one was written, there were a handful of people. My grandpa said that sounds like a hit. A buddy of mine in like one of our local band, like friend, you know, buddy band, was like, dude, this is the best song you've ever written. You know, I've got another friend that said the first time he heard it, said, dude, you better be ready to play this song every night of your life.
For the rest of your life,
Yeah, literally. And it was like, again, to me, that song was just as good as the last one I wrote, but like it's not, like I said, not until you kind of play it for people where you really can feel it. And so yeah, aside from basically Damar, our drummer, everybody pretty much loved it.
and there's reason to. It's a great song. So what do you say we hear it?
Yeah, you know, a funny story. We played that. We did the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yeah. And I forget. I feel like we played her show twice or we played two songs. I don't know if you played two songs on the Ellen show, but I definitely remember playing that song. And you know, she like everybody, every time you play like one of those shows, you know, the host comes out to you afterwards and kind of shakes your hand, talks, whatever. And yeah, she came out and she said, "Oh, that must be your drummer's favorite, huh?" Like, because he just sat back there and like shake the shaker or something like that, shook a shaker. But it was just funny. Like, yeah, drummers would hate Hater Delilah, but thankfully a lot of other people love the song. So how about this song goes out to everybody besides drummers out there? How about that? Yeah, here we go. Hater Delilah. Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty, yes you do. Times Square can't shine as bright as you, I swear it's true. Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about that distance, I'm right there. If you get lonely, give this song another listen, close your eyes. Listen to my voice, it's my disguise, I'm by your side. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 What you do to me. Hey there, Delilah, I know times are getting hard. Just believe me, girl, someday I'll pay the bills. With this guitar, we'll have it good. We'll have the life we knew we would. My word is good. Hey there, Delilah, I've got so much left to say. If every simple song I wrote to you would take your breath away, I'd write it all. Even more in love with me you'd fall. We'd have it all. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 1,000 miles seem pretty far, but they've got planes and trains and cars. I'd walk to you if I had no other way. Our friends would all make fun of us. We'll just laugh along because we know that none of them have felt this way. Delilah, I can promise you, by the time we get through, the world will never ever be the same. You're to blame. Hey there, Delilah, you be good. Don't you miss me? 2 more years and you'll be done with school. I'll be making history like I do. You'll know it's all because of you. We can do whatever we want to. Hey there, Delilah, here's to you. This one's for you. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 What you do to me. Oh, 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 yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. There it is. Dude, you need to have people pressure you more often if you're going to write songs like that. Holy cow.
Yeah, right? Jeez, somebody beg me to write you a song, and you got it.
That is such a great tune. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Once again, I'm Dave Alexander with Tom Higgenson from the Plain White T's. We are here for the Levitt Pavilion's Giving Tuesday event during this virtual music marathon. Before we wrap things up, remember, if you get a chance to please donate. If you can do it, you can find it at levittdayton.org/donate. And before we wrap things up, Tom, what's next for the Plain White T's?
Well, I've been working on some brand new songs. I'm demoing them up. Actually, literally, like this week, I'm doing Plain White T's demos, which is really fun. Like I said, I've been working a lot with like other artists. If you guys can, check out my label, Humans Were Here. I started a record label. So there's a lot of really fun artists, including an 80s side project of my own called Million Miler. It's like super synth pop.
Hello.
If you like Michael Jackson. It's basically, you know, blending Michael Jackson, Pat Benatar, Manowar, and Halloween. All of my old
There it is.
You know? But yeah, check out humanswerehere.com. And yeah, Plain White T's demoing now. So definitely new music in 2021 for sure.
Great. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye now.
See ya.